فمن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو كذب بآياته إنه لا يفلح المجرمون.
So, who is more unjust than the one who forges a lie against Allah, or gives the lie to his signs? Indeed, such guilty people shall not achieve success.
ويعبدون من دون الله ما لا يضرهم ولا ينفعهم ويقولون هؤلاء شفعاؤنا عند الله قل أتنبئون الله بما لا يعلم في السماوات ولا في الأرض سبحانه وتعالى عما يشركون.
Beside Allah, they worship those who can neither harm nor benefit them, and they say, these are our intercessors with Allah. Say, are you informing Allah of what he does not know as existing in the heavens or on the earth? Pure is he, and far higher than what they associate with him.
So these two verses are reflecting upon that. If Prophet says that فَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا أو كَذَّبَ بِآيَاتِهِ, who could be a bigger transgressor or the misguided and liar who could say that I have these verses from God, or affiliate things of lie towards Allah which he had not said? Means the revelation of the Quran and the message of Allah through the Prophet Muhammad. إِنَّهُ لَا يُفْلِحُ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. Indeed, those who are liars or those who are sinner and transgressor, those who have been convicted, they do not prevail in the eyes of Allah in the world and the hereafter. And next verse is وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, and they also worship other than Allah مَا لَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ, those who cannot harm them nor benefit them. Means if you carve the idol from hand or rock or clay or mud and then say that this is going to benefit me or harm me, how more ignorant a person or misguided and lost in the darkness a person would be, that who is making a God. Creator is God, not created is God. God is the creator. So you created something from your hand and then say this is going to benefit me. وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَعَاؤُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ, and then you say that these idols which you have created will be interceder and transgressor, interceder in front of Allah in the day of judgment. قُلْ أَتُنَبِّئُونَ اللَّهِ, are you telling Allah بِمَا لَا يَعْلَمُ, what is not known, which is between heaven and earth? Glory be to him. He is high, is his majesty, from what you make partners with him in the worship. So this is very powerful verse for some to understand that having a partner with a God and thinking that God need these people to intercede, where it says only prophets and messengers and the angels and the righteous people will be able to intercede in front of Allah in the day of judgment, not these false God and false idols. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reflecting about how the mankind it was when it started in its origin.
وَمَا كَانَ النَّاسُ إِلَّا أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً فَاخْتَلَفُوا وَلَوْلَا كَلِمَةٌ سَبَقَتْ مِنْ رَبِّكَ لَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُمْ فِيمَا فِيهِ يَخْتَلِفُونَ.
All the people were no more than a single community. Later, they differed. But for a word from your Lord that had already come to pass, a decisive judgment would have been made about their mutual differences.
This verse is reflecting about the mankind were one nation, and the Adam and his wife Eve and their children. And then after that they differed with each other. Not that they did not know. Difference of opinion, difference of creed. These are the one who differed in the creed. According to some scholarly reference, the difference started when the Abel and Cain, two sons which are also mentioned in the Bible of Adam and Eve, and when the Abel was a good one and Abel killed the Cain, and then the children of the Abel follow the unrighteous way, and the Cain children become the righteous people. And when what happened used to be that in their time, when they would offer a sacrifice, the fire will come and eat up the sacrifice. So when these two brothers were asked to sacrifice because they were interested in marrying one person, one girl, and this is what it was, the Sharia of the time. And when Abel had the intention that he wanted to kill his brother, so the Cain says, I do not want to raise my hand against you. So he killed him. And this is where the two groups of believers started accordingly. That one was the children's descendant of the Abel and one the Cain, and one was the righteous and one become unrighteous. And since then this difference has been happening. وَلَوْلَا كَلِمَةً سَبِقَتْ مِنْ رَبِّكَ, if it has not been already destined by the word from your Lord, لَقُضِيَ بَيْنَهُم, Allah would have destined and decided among them, would have passed the judgment, فِيمَا فِيهِ يَخْتَلِفُونَ, for what mutual differences they had. Like after every prophet, nation divided and become different and different group, which happens to the Jews, to the Christians, to the Muslims also. We have different sects, and each one of them says we are righteous. We are supposed to say we are differing in our certain practices, but it doesn't mean you are not a Muslim. We have to be very mindful. To declare somebody non-Muslim, one have to deny the Shahada and deny the Allah and His Messenger and the angels and the Day of Judgment and resurrection and destiny. So let's listen to the next verse.
وما كان الناس إلا أمة واحدة فاختلفوا ولولا كلمة سبقت من ربك لقضي بينهم فيما فيه يختلفون.
All the people were no more than a single community. Later, they differed. But for a word from your Lord that had already come to pass, a decisive judgment would have been made about their mutual differences.
ويقولون لولا أنزل عليه آية من ربه فقل إنما الغيب لله فانتظروا إني معكم من المنتظرين.
And they say, why is it that no sign has been sent down to him from his Lord? Say, the unseen is only for Allah. So, wait. I am waiting with you.
وَإِذَا أَذَقْنَا النَّاسَ رَحْمَةً مِّن بَعْدِ ضَرَّاءَ مَسَّتْهُمْ إِذَا لَهُم مَّكْرٌ فِي آيَاتِنَا قُلِ اللَّهُ أَسْرَعُ مَكْرًا إِنَّ رُسُلَنَا يَكْتُبُونَ مَا تَمْكُرُونَ.
Once we cause people to taste a blessing after a hardship having afflicted them, they at once start devising plans against our verses. Say, Allah is swifter in implementing His plan. Indeed, our messengers, angels, record whatever you intrigue.
هو الذي يسيركم في البر والبحر حتى إذا كنتم في الفلك وجرين بهم بريح طيبة وفرحوا بها جاءتها ريح عاصف وجاءهم الموج من كل مكان وظنوا أنهم أحيط بهم دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين لئن أنجيتنا من هذه لنكونن من الشاكرين.
He is the one who enables you to travel on land and at sea, until when you are aboard the boats, and they sail with those on board, under a favorable wind, and they are pleased with it, there comes upon them a violent wind, and the wave comes upon them from every direction, and they think that they are surrounded from all sides. They pray to Allah, having faith in Him alone, and say, if you deliver us from this, we shall be grateful indeed.
أنجاهم إذا هم يبغون في الأرض بغير الحق يا أيها الناس إنما بغيكم على أنفسكم متاع الحياة الدنيا ثم إلينا إلينا مرجعكم فننبئكم بما كنتم تعملون.
But when he delivers them, they at once start rebelling on the earth wrongfully. O people, your rebellion is, in fact, against your own selves. It is only worldly life that you are enjoying. Thereafter, it is to us that you have to return. Then we will tell you what you have been doing.
In the last two verses, there's one thing reflect upon is that there are two types of winds are described. The rihin tayyibatin wa rihin, the other asifun. Rihun asifun, there's the winds, when we see certain weather, when the winds are blowing and they are very comforting and relaxing, and then there's the wind which we see, hurricane and all those kind which destroy and burn the places. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing these two, and when mankind see that, they start calling Allah once they get delivered from the hardship in the ocean or on the land, and then they start disobeying Allah and started worshipping and calling those false gods, which was the practice of those people at that time. So let's listen to the next verse.
إنما مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء إن أنزلناه من السماء فاختلط به نبات الأرض مما يأكل الناس والأنعام حتى إذا أخذت الأرض زخرفها وزينت وظن أهلها أنهم قادرون عليها أتاها أمرنا ليلا أو نهارا فجعلناها حصيدا كأن لم تغن بالأمس كذلك نفصل الآيات لقوم يتفكرون.
The example of worldly life is just like the water we sent down from the sky. Then the vegetation of the earth grew with it, which is meant to be eaten by men and cattle, until when the earth took on its ornament and was fully adorned, and its people thought that they had control over it, our command came to it at night or by day, and we turned it into a stubble, as if it had not been there a day earlier. This is how we elaborate the verses for a people who reflect.
والله يدعو إلى دار السلام ويهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم.
Allah invites people to the abode of peace and brings whom He wills to a straight path.
Last two verses are reflecting about the life cycle, the water cycle, the plant cycle, and it is an example Allah is giving to the mankind to understand that how things get existed and they turn into dust, and this is what everything is. And Allah invite the mankind to the place of peace, which is Islam and the paradise. وَيَهْدِي مَن يَشَاءُ إِلَىٰ صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ, and He guides whoever He wills to the straight path of the success. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now telling about those people who do good, what is the reward for them and how they will be in the future.
للذين أحسنوا الحسنى وزيادة ولا يرهق وجوههم قتر ولا ذلة أولئك أصحاب الجنة هم فيها خالدون.
For those who do good there is the best, and something more. Neither gloom shall cover their faces, nor disgrace. Those are the people of paradise. Therein they shall live forever.
So this is the people who do good in the world and little more than what is required of them beautifully. In other words, taking care of family, the loved ones, the friends, the mankind, for the creature, the nature, whatever we have around us. لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا الْحُسْنَى وَالزِّيَادَةِ. When we do extra prayer, extra supplemental prayer, extra charity, extra good deeds, just for the love, for the sake of Allah, we will be, day of judgment will be giving Him more return of it. And وَلَا يَرْحَقُ وُجُوهَهُمْ قَطَرَهُ وَلَا زِلَّةٍ. There, in the day of judgment, their faces will not be humiliated, and they will not be insulted, and they will not see the disgrace, and their faces will be brightened, not be darkened. أُولَٰئِكَ أَصْحَابُ الْجَنَّةِ. These are the people of paradise, where they will abode forever. Now, comparison as always made in the verse number 27. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is comparing those who did not believe or did not do good. What will be their return?
والذين كسبوا السيئات جزاء سيئة بمثلها وترهقهم ذلة ما لهم من الله من عاصم كأنما أغشيت وجوههم قطعا من الليل مظلما أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون.
As for those who commit evils, the recompense of each evil shall be similar to that evil, and disgrace shall cover them. For them, there is none to save from Allah. Their faces will seem to be covered with layers of a dark night. Those are the people of the fire. Therein they shall live forever.
ويوم نحشرهم جميعا ثم نقول للذين أشركوا مكانكم أنتم وشركاؤكم فزيلنا بينهم وقال شركاؤهم ما كنتم إيانا تعبدون.
And be mindful of the day when we shall gather them together. Then we shall say to those who associated partners with Allah, wait in your place, you and your associate gods. Then we will cause a split between them, and their associate gods will say, it was not us that you worshipped.
فكفى بالله شهيدا بيننا وبينكم إن كنا عن عبادتكم لغافلين.
So, Allah is enough as witness between us and between you. We were totally unaware of your worship.
هنالك تبلو كل نفس ما أسلفت وردوا إلى الله مولاهم الحق وضل عنهم ما كانوا يفترون.
Thereupon, everyone shall assess what one had sent ahead, and they will be sent back to Allah, their true Lord, and whatever they used to fabricate will vanish from them.
So the verse number 30 and the one from before reflect that what will be the return of those people who did not believe in Allah. Those who earned the evil deeds as their account will be punished equal, not more. They will be given equal, but for the good deed there will be more return, but not for the bad doing. So we should keep in mind Allah is merciful. Allah will not increase our sin and punishment, yet Allah will increase our good deed and blessing. And this is where we need to reflect that Allah is saying on the day of judgment, when we shall gather them together and we shall say to those who associated partner with Allah that wait in your place and you and your associate God, then we will cause a split between them. In other words, these idols will be given life, which I mentioned earlier, and they will be brought into life and will be asked, did you ask them that you are partners of me, or you are supposed to be partners in God's worship? And they will say, Lord, you know, we were not even living. How would we know? We have no idea. It was not us that you worship. They will deny those worshippers. They will say, we don't know who you are. We did not even existed. Allah can bring back to life with anything and give the power. So just to prove, it will be the witness that the gods they are worshipping are not God. And the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, فَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. Allah is enough to know whatever they were doing. And شَهِيدًا بَيْنَنَا وَبَيْنَكُمْ إِن كُنَّا عَنْ عِبَادَتِكُمْ لَغَافِلِينَ. So Allah is enough. Say, O Muhammad, that we have enough Allah between us and you, and Allah is not unaware of what you are worshipping and what you are making false God for worshipping. That's very important, very powerful message for the monotheistic belief of the oneness of God and worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assess each and every one and judge everyone for what the deeds they have sent forth and what fabrication what we have with mankind does will be vanished. With this I will stop here. Inshallah, next Sunday we will begin with the verse number 31 for chapter Younus or Jonah in English, and inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala will guide us to stay on a straight path and protect us from the wrongdoing. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. And at the end I cry out or call out, and all praises belong to Allah that who guided us to the Siratul Mustaqim. I will stop here. If you have any question, any suggestion, any comment, so please say so. Otherwise we will make the supplication and dua and we'll end our session for today. Okay, so inshallah I will make the dua and we'll end our program. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. O Allah, accept from us from what we have recited. If any mistake is done, forgive us and guide us and keep to the straight path. Give us life in Islam, give us death in Iman, and bless us and our family. Wa akhir dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Assalamu alaikum.